Dameon Clarke is a veteran of many things. Probably the show most of us know him most as he's in Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, a lot of the movies, and DBZ Kai. Most famous for being Cell.
Cell.
He's also South Kai, he's Bora, he's Aqua, and all these other characters. And he's also Gohan in History of Trunks.
Which is awesome.
Which makes you wonder, he must really like... Well, my friend was joking around the other day, he's Cell, so he wanted me to ask him what it's like to be destroyed by, one-armed Kamehameha Gohan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I was like, but he also plays Gohan. It's like, so he destroyed himself? Like,
Paradox much?
But he's also in Blue Gender. He's in Galaxy Railways, Fullmetal Alchemist, where he plays Scar.
He's in Yu Yu Hakusho.
He's in Lupin the Third.
Oh, I love Lupin the Third.
He's in Fruit Basket. For people who have no idea what these are, those are anime.
Yes, these are things that most people are... Yeah, but we like them.
But the people who know video games, he's also in Street Fighter vs. Tekken. Mm-hmm. He's in Ultra Street Fighter 4, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He's in Borderlands 2.
Yes, he is, in fact, everybody's most favorite handsome scoundrel, Handsome Jack.
And he's also Marshall Friedman.
Which is pretty cool.
And, of course, he's in all the Dragon Ball Z
games.
Video games.
SL.
There's a lot of them.
Everyone else.
He's in Valkyrie Profile 2. He's in Fullmetal Alchemist 2, the video game. Unreal Championship 2.
Which is cool. He's also in Blood Rain.
Yeah, he is in Blood Rain. He's in Blood Rain 2. He's Zarensky, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's in Blood Rain 1. He's Headrocks in Blood Rain 1.
Ah, Headrocks.
And in movies, he's in Scanner Darkly.
And wait. But we also have to touch on the fact that for a lot of the people that listen that are into League of Legends, he's also the voice of Kha'Zix.
Oh, that is true.
Yes. Oh.
Well, he's in TV shows like Castle. He's in Graceland. He's in CSI, NCIS. He's in 24. He's in I Love You, Philip Norris. He's in Supernatural, Prison Break.
Yeah, LAX.
Without a Trace.
Had to be a serial killer.
Scanner Darkly, as I just mentioned.
And Hall of Mirrors.
Prodigy.
Ah, yes. He was in Supernatural, too.
Yeah.
But the most important of all television roles. He was in Walker, Texas Ranger.
And... Oh, he's just in so much. So it's going to be our pleasure to invite him on. It'll be in about 5 minutes.
Plus, freaking on stage, right? He played Gordon from freaking Journey to the Center of the Earth. That's pretty cool.
That is true. And so he's a very special guest, which you'll be having on in about 5 minutes now. We're going to call him. But before then, let's talk a little bit about things. So,
things.
Here's the question that we're going to discuss.
Oh, question of the day, folks. Question of the day.
Dragon Ball Z.
Awesome.
Who's your favorite villain?
What, Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Cooler, because he's like a gayer version of Frieza, if that were possible.
Cooler. He's only in 2 movies, isn't he?
Yeah, but still, it's funny as hell.
I thought he was more manly than Frieza.
Yeah, I know, but that's what makes him gayer than Frieza.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
He tries even harder to not be gay, but it doesn't work.
When I was a kid, and she's still my favorite villain. My favorite villain and character was Android 18.
Oh, Jesus. Are we going to get into the concept of the Android 18 butt plug thing again?
Well, we'd have to ask Dameon Clarke about absorbing.
Oh, man.
I just want to know what he was told when he first saw that, and he's like, what the heck is going on?
I firmly believe that American voice actors in anime are just... The only way they get through the day is by realizing none of this makes sense, it's a paycheck. None of this makes sense, it's a paycheck. That has to be the mantra. Because, how do you get emotionally invested in the character you're voicing when you're having an android up your butt? How does that work?
I've been rewatching DBZ Kai. It's like
DBZ abridged.
Yeah, but I love DBZ Kai.
Wait, do you know what the difference between DBZ and DBZ Kai is? Do you really know the difference? Because I do.
They basically cut out Saiyaman and Boo Saga. They cut out Garlic Jr. Saga, which I actually like Garlic Jr. Saga.
No.
And they cut out...
Getting too technical, Jerry.
Oh, it's like 2.5 episodes of him learning to drive?
No, the only difference between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai is that instead of it taking freaking 9 episodes to throw a punch, it only takes 2. That's the only difference. Although you're right, the Garlic Jr. Saga, that was cool.
That's because my favorite characters are Gohan as a kid and Piccolo. And Garlic Jr. Saga was basically Gohan and Piccolo beating up the bad guy.
Plus, I have a soft spot in my heart for Saiyaman.
Saiyaman is so silly and awesome.
It is.
Like, I just love it how you can tell Gohan spent way too much time with the Ginyu Force.
Oh, yeah. Retardedly too much.
And then he taught Videl at the very end. Like, as much as I hate the ending of DBZ with how Goku goes off with Ubu, when you see Videl...
Yeah, but it was still kind of epic.
And Gohan in their costumes doing the poses together, I was just like...
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
but
perfect.
at that point, you got to look at Videl and just be like, what in the God's name of monkey Christ is wrong with you?
No, I plotted.
Well, yeah, but still.
And Majin Buu gets to, get ice cream, unlimited ice cream as he wins the tournament gets second place in a tournament every year.
Although, you know who my favorite character in Dragon Ball, like all Dragon Ball, has always been?
Piccolo, I hope?
No. Mr. Satan.
Otherwise known as Hercule to Cartoon Network.
No. He's Mr. Satan. Get over it.
Well, like when I was reading, like when I saw it on VHS, I was always confused who they were talking about. So I was like, isn't he Hercule?
See, I was never confused because that's Mr. Satan. End of discussion. Dude, you just gotta like it. Dude, you have to love Mr. Satan, though. You have to. The dude is just such a freaking monster.
He is in one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball Z, the one where he's basically trying to kill Boo at the same time of being his friend.
Yeah. And he's like sitting there, like trying to talk to him, and then like trying to beat the crap out of him. Then when it doesn't work, he's like, you see what I did? Like he's joking with him or something, and then Boo's just looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with you?
And then he gives Boo ice cream forever.
Well, there's nothing wrong with ice cream.
Me eat you up. Me eat you up.
Dude, Boo.
But we should continue this conversation with our guest.
Hello.
Awesome. This is Bombad Radio. My name is Jeremiah, and with me I have my co-host, James.
Hello.
You sound like radio guys.
Well, we try, sir. We try.
Oh, well, there you go.
I like doing it from time to time. I'm just very excited right now.
How you guys doing this morning?
Oh, we're doing great.
Good.
How about yourself? How are you doing?
Not too shabby. You're making me get up a good hour before I usually get up on a Tuesday, so, you guys are super special.
You can blame me for that one. That's me. That was my fault.
You're a son of a bitch.
I know. I just got called a son of a bitch by Dameon Clarke. My life is cool. That's so cool. So anyway, Jer, shall we?
Yeah. So do you want to start off, James, or do you want me to?
Oh, you, of course, my friend. It's your birthday, dude. It's your birthday.
That's true.
Wow, it's your birthday today?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So we're going to, since we were just talking about Dragon Ball Z just literally 2 seconds ago, we're going to start off with some questions about that, and then we'll go on to everything else.
Cool.
So you got to play, well, the main character you played in Dragon Ball Z was Cell, and then of course you played lots of other characters throughout. So I guess the first question we want to ask is, recently Dragon Ball Z Kai came out. What was it like going back in to re-record everything from Dragon Ball Z, redoing it all for DBZ Kai?
An absolute nightmare. It's like putting on a wetsuit. You know, like when you get out of the water and the wetsuit's wet and you got to put it back on. You know that feeling?
Yes.
Like putting on a wet bathing suit.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's horrible.
It was like that. I'm just kidding. It was great. It was really cool because we got to see each other again after a long period of time. Like it's like, I don't know. It's like a reunion tour. It's getting the band back together for another romp. It was fun, man. It was a blast, and you get to do different things with the characters they didn't do 10, 15 years ago, however long it was we did that cartoon. But it was a blast. I've very fond memories of it. I don't know, was that a year ago we did that? Kai? Is that about it? A year? Something like that?
A year or two?
Yeah, I thought
something like
it was
that.
like a year and a half. Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
Somewhere in that range.
It was a lot of fun. I'm sitting in my backyard right now because does it sound like ground zero out here right now?
Sounds like somebody's getting spirit bombed.
I've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre living next door to me. I think he's like an artist or something, or a carpenter, and then I don't know.
And then he kills people at night?
Yeah, wait. So it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a carpenter. So basically, he's what, leather Jesus?
I don't know what he is. He's always got some kind of saw going next door. I don't know. I'm hoping he's a
Hey, listen, all I know is that if he peeks his head over that fence and he goes, "I'd like to play a game," run.
Get the hell out of there.
Right.
But yeah, man, Kai was a lot of fun, and out of that actually came Borderlands 2. So there you go.
Oh, really? Awesome. A nice segue. So tell us a little bit about Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I was in there doing Kai, and the producers were in the building, as it were, and it just sort of kind of came about. They were like, "Hey, can you do some voices for us in this video game?" And one thing led to another.
And you became the voice of Handsome Jack.
Correctamundo.
Which, and honestly, I have to admit, is probably one of my favorite video game villains.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, no, quite well. Especially the voice acting. I mean, I thought it was really cool that, like, the way I think that the way you did it almost made me kind of believe that he really, really did think that he was the quote-unquote hero, even though he was, giant D-bag. But
well, that's good to know. That was kind of a big deal in the video game. So it's good to know that came across.
Oh no, it did. It definitely came across. I've played that game entirely too many times to count.
Really?
Oh, dude, I love Borderlands and Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 was better, in my opinion, but I think I've gone through that game from start to finish at least 8 or 9 times.
Wow, right on. Okay, so you're pretty familiar with my voice at this point, you poor, poor man, you.
Yes, well, poor perhaps, but I'm the one that gets to interview you, so perhaps not.
Yeah, right on.
But yeah, what was it like though with Borderlands 2? Like, did you find that it was maybe a bit different than working on the voice acting for the different animes and whatnot that you've done?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of video games, just in that genre specifically, are pretty straightforward as far as your characters go. Like if you're doing a first-person shooter kind of thing, and a lot of the characters are rough and tumble military type dudes that, there's not a lot of, there's nothing really in the vein out there like Borderlands or Borderlands 2 that doesn't have that that comedic sort of out there feel to it. So with a lot of the other video games that you end up voicing, it's a lot more limiting. It's not as freeing. And you don't get, I got to do a lot of improv and stuff on it, so that was, it was a unique experience in that sense. I mean, oftentimes it's, a guy saying, talking into a headset, "I'm over here, we got this going on, this, that, and the other." It's, pretty straightforward stuff, so it was cool.
Well, I think I'm probably a little bit more familiar with the game than Jeremiah is. So you say you got to do a lot of improv on that. Were there any specific scenes that you can think of that stuck out in your head where you got to improv, where the improv stuck as opposed to what was written?
I actually was just talking with the writer, Anthony, I think. Am I getting that right? If I didn't get that right, just cut it out of the interview.
No problem.
we were talking about like the Diamond Pony stuff.
Oh God, Butt Stallion.
Yeah, Butt Stallion was like improv stuff, and Anthony was in an interview, and he was saying how much disdain he had for me because that wasn't a scripted line. It was actually
what the
funny
thing
is
though about that is that me and a good friend of mine, we play that game in tandem a lot. And by far, the one line when you're traveling and he first mentions the pony made of diamonds, he says, maybe I'll name it Butt Stallion. I think that we howl laughing every time we hear it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a pretty freeing video game to be able to do because we just messed around with it and just if we were laughing in the studio, we were like, okay, we're doing something right, and we kind of just went with whatever we were doing at the time. I mean, obviously, it was a lot of great writing, a lot of scriptage that we covered. But it's like I said, if we were amused in the studio, we kind of kept going with what we were doing. Yeah, I mean, there was another part of the video game where I sent the dude to kill my grandmother.
Oh yeah, and
a lot of that was improv too.
Oh really? Because that had like Handsome Jack starts crying and then he starts laughing. Like thank God, now I don't have to worry about that old bag. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is totally horrible. I love it.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question now. So with Handsome Jack, you won best male voice acting for 2012 for the Video Game Awards. What was it like to win that award? Were you expecting to win it? Because you had a lot of competition, but were you expecting to win it? And what was it like to actually win?
No, man, I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't expecting a nomination, and I certainly didn't expect to get handed a monkey on the carpet. That was weird. They were like, hey, we want to do an interview with you. And I was like, all right, great. And then I'm standing there, and this guy just goes, here, and hands me the award. I was like, thanks. The fuck is this?
Like, oh, lovely. What a lovely monkey you just handed me.
Well, it was totally weird. So it came and went real quick. It was, it was lovely to receive it. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun that night. But yeah, it was very much of a surprise. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and that wasn't the first time you've won an award. I believe you also won an award.
I'm winning awards left and right, man. It's crazy.
Well, I know you won an award for.
Just kidding.
Well, didn't you win an award for Best Actor in the New York Horror Film Festival? Like, How to Be a Serial
I did this crazy movie, How to Be a Serial Killer. Not too much unlike Handsome Guy. It's crazy how many serial killers I've played, actually.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on my babysitting resume at all. I think it's affected my nanny work. People freak out a little bit. I don't really babysit anymore. People won't hire me for it.
I would. I have a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I would.
But yeah, there was that How to Be a Serial Killer, and we got Shriek Fest and New York Horror Film Festival, and I think there was some other film festival that we won. Anyway, it was a lot of fun to do that too. But I think I've played about 5 or 6 serial killers now, something like that.
Yeah,
a lot of them on TV, especially.
They should give you a card.
Oh yeah, there was Castle. Yeah, I played a serial killer on Castle. Yeah.
Oh, so wait, so that's like what, 7?
I don't know. I think it's up around 5. I don't know. More than there should be. Let's just put it that way.
Like, what happens? Like, do you get like some kind of special recognition once you've hit 10?
Yeah, right. They send you, I don't know, a gift basket or something.
They send you a gift basket. You get like Leatherface's chainsaw and what was it, like that butcher's cleaver from that Christian Bale had, and like a Freddy Krueger.
That would be awesome. A signed cleaver.
That would actually
cleaver from Christian Bale. That'd be freaking awesome. I would love that.
Actually, that would be freaking cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It was funny, actually. You just reminded me of something. I've got this Michael Myers mask upstairs, and I've got this big cleaver that if you press the button on the handle, it gives you like a ring kind of noise.
Oh, God. See, look, he said Michael Myers.
When you babysit, you should carry that with you, of course.
Well, my buddy, I don't wait for Halloween to scare people or freak people out. And he was my buddy Amitabh was coming over to my house a couple of weeks ago, and I just hid behind the door with the mask and the knife, and he walked in. He just lost his mind.
Wait, dude, he shat himself like right then and there? Which would be appropriate, William Shatner, the mask, turns into Michael Myers. Although, you know what? I think now, if you look at William Shatner now, I think his face now as a mask would be more scary than the old version that they whited out to make that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you get the Priceline guy coming at you.
Oh, God. You want this deal.
That's funny. Yeah, somebody should definitely look into that. That's awesome.
Oh, man.
So I guess we're gonna ask from the very beginning. So how did you get started in acting and voice acting and all this? Like, what was your very first role, and how did you get it?
Actually, my very first role was William Shatner's son. So there you go. There's a nice little segue for you.
Oh my God, William Shatner's just everywhere on this show. I swear it.
Is that right?
Yeah. We've got an interview where Jerry actually went to Salt Lake City Comic-Con, and there was a panel with Shatner, and then before that we have myriad Shatner references. Oh, it's just, you can't get away from this guy.
Yeah, he's an institution unto himself. That guy. My sister was dating an actor when I was about 10 or something like that, and I just ended up getting into it sort of via that, Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those you knew somebody type of deals.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, They were like, oh, well, do something with this kid's energy, or, I was always running around, I think I did, my mom was always having me, do impressions of people and stuff when I was a kid. I was like her wind-up monkey toy. And ended up just
back to the monkey.
Yeah, there you go. Did you ever have that when you were a kid? Like your parents, if you had one little talent that you were good at, that your parents would just have you do that all the time. Like if you could sing, or if you played an instrument, they would always make you get up in front of family members and just do that one thing.
Yeah, my mom does that to me still to this day with Cheech and Chong and Sean Connery. She always makes me do those.
Oh, you got to do Sean Connery for me.
Oh God, why did I let the cat out of the bag on that one? All right, let me try. There are more therapeutic ways of working on a man's lower back.
Thank you for that.
You're quite welcome, sir. Quite welcome. I'm glad I could make you day on that one.
Especially the line. I like the line. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's the good. From Never Say Never Again. I love that one. The unofficial James Bond movie, even though it's got the James Bond in it. But yeah, that and Cheech and Chong. I'll be like, my mom will do it back to me though. I'll be sitting there and I'll just bust out a Chong line from Up in Smoke. And I'll be like, hey, man, you want to get high, man? And then my mom comes right back as Cheech goes, damn, man, I hope your dick's bigger than this. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
That's fantastic. Your mom sounds super cool.
Oh, dude, my mom...
Just a story about his mom. Just before we called you, she sang me the Harley Quinn version of Happy Birthday, Mr. J from Batman the Animated Series.
Can you I'm not jogging any memories for me. Can you do it for me?
Well, wait.
It's when she comes out of the pie.
Well, wait, no. The classic Marilyn Monroe "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but it's Harley Quinn doing it to the Joker.
Yeah, I still want you to do it.
Oh, I'm not. It was my mom. My 58-year-old mother decided to do it.
You don't
I'm
have
too
to.
scared.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. But that's kind of the way the whole thing happened. They were just like, oh, you should do that. And then next thing you know, that's what I ended up doing for the rest of my life, the rest of my natural life.
The rest of my natural life, serial killer.
I didn't know that was going to be what I was doing for the rest of my life when I was 10.
Okay, because right after you did those two movies, and then you went into Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z. So I have a couple questions regarding early Dragon Ball Z, because I've heard stories that basically early on they'd have voice actors in there, and then the voice actor would quit, and they'd say the sound guy has to fill in for a voice here, or a scriptwriter has to fill in for a voice here. What was it like working on early Dragon Ball?
Well, you're not far off, because Justin Cook was our technician engineer for years on Dragon Ball Z, and then he became the lead on Yu Yu Hakusho. So all kinds of crazy stuff like that happened over there. And I was doing Case Closed for a while there as George, and then I FO'd to Los Angeles, and the lovely and talented Michael McFarland sort of jumped into that role. So, yeah, there's all kinds of passing off roles and so doing this because, then Justin's very talented. He just happened to, he just happened to be an engineer on top of everything. But, yeah, all kinds of weird stuff happens over there.
So you did the TV show at the same time you did those movies, a lot of the Dragon Ball Z movies. Was there any difference working on a movie versus the TV show? Because I know, like, animation quality, they're very similar, but I don't know,
mean like the History of Trunks and
yeah, History
like
of Trunks versus working on Dragon Ball Z, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, same deal. There's really no difference as far as recording or anything. Same booth, same engineers, same deal.
So it's the same thing, it's just
Same
that now it's
paycheck.
longer and on a giant screen as opposed to being cut up in 9 episodes.
Yeah, it's not like they give you any bonuses or there's, you go to a special studio or any of that stuff. It's pretty much the same deal.
It's like, you go here, you do voice now.
So we have a listener who has 3 rather strange questions, which
God, not these.
we have to ask.
Oh,
so the
God.
first one is, you played Cell.
There's a listener? I thought we were just recording this.
Recording.
No, we are
He gave me
recording, but he gave us the questions, and I was like, Jerry, you're really going to ask him this? And Jerry he didn't look at me, but he probably would have looked at me and went, yes, I am. And I'm like, oh, dear God.
Okay,
so one of them is you played Cell, which is, villain through the last half of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And when you actually saw what your character did, what was your first thoughts when you realized your character absorbs androids through his butt?
Oh, man, I knew it.
You know what, man? Like, I remember, I guess it was, what was it, Android 18 and Android, I don't know, 16?
17, yeah.
Yeah, it was 17 and 18.
And I think, I don't know. So, yeah, 16 was the dude that was missing half his head. That was kind of stupid, right?
Yeah.
Big dude. Anyway, I remember being in the studio and seeing the animation for it and the tail coming and opening. Yeah, it was very, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was interesting. I think I got a bunch of chuckles out of it. And because they would show the tail opening up, and the whole thing is just insanely phallic, right? Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But then you cut to like a reaction shot of Cell or 18 or 17, and just the whole thing just looked like Caligula or some kind of crazy animated like anime porno freak show. It was just it was hilarious. I mean, obviously anybody that watches it that's the first thing that's gonna pop into your head was like, what this is an interesting direction this just turned, but yeah.
Yeah, really. My first thought was, oh, look, it's the brand new, all new Android 18 suppository.
It's like they were just trying to figure out what they could get away with.
Like how, were the animators
get away with it?
Like, I think the animators were just thinking, okay, how can we really just make them puke in their shirt? How can we do that? I've got it. Androids
even
up
like
the butt.
sound effects and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
First came to Earth, and he had this giant. It looked like obviously there's a condom. It looks like a condom on the end of his tail.
He had the reservoir tip.
Yeah, totally. And he was like draining just people to get whatever energy he could, and the sound effects and the phallic, sexual, rapey nature of the whole
yes,
thing. Yes,
that is the best way I've heard that described yet.
Yeah, he just came to Earth and just raped everybody. Just
yes,
had at it.
With his reservoir tip spaceship.
Yeah, but at least he was practicing safe raping. So
yes, safe rape is the only way to go.
He can give. There's a quote for you for the interview. There you go.
Yes, an interview with Dameon Clarke. Safe rape is the only way to go.
Yeah, find out Damien's thoughts on safe rape.
So his second question isn't quite that way, but his second question is, in Dragon Ball Z especially, they fixed it a bit in Kai. There's episodes we have basically 4 episodes in a row of screaming at each other before something actually happens.
Everybody loves to ask questions about screaming, which is it's a good question. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
So did you guys actually? How much screaming did you actually have to do, or they just like remix your voice and get a lot more screaming out of it? Like, did you actually just spend all day in the booth screaming at each other?
Yeah, there was no any kind of looping or anything clever like that going on. It was like, oh, we've already got 17 hours of you screaming your guts out. We can just use some of that stuff. Nah, none of that was happening. It was all, if it was in the episode and we were recording that episode, it was happening.
Wow.
Wow.
Little known fact.
Sean Schimmel passed out.
Really?
Yeah, he hit the floor. It was pretty awesome. Like it was these little when we first started out, it was like these little whisper booths, and you could kind of it was like a table. If you picture this, you walk into a fairly small room, like 12 by 12, and then in the corner was a whisper booth, just enough room for one person. These are like personalized booths that people would have in their home. Like this is how lo-fi it was. And then you'd have just a table that they got from, I don't know, a garage sale. And then when we started, it was VHS 3/4, so it wasn't VHS, but it would be 3/4 decks with these tapes that they would get from Japan. And then we would manually, like analog style, match this stuff up via whatever editing software we had. It was so... I'd never seen anything like it, because when I came from Toronto and Vancouver, I mean, it was like kind of fancy schmancy studios with the latest of everything, and then we were kind of doing this, it was like Russian Cold War anime recording. Now they're all decked out up in flower mound and stuff like that, but when Gen and his wife Cindy and God, I can't remember the other dude's name now, first started out, yeah, they were working out of a bank. It was a bank building.
Wow. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I'm like, we're doing a cartoon out of here? And they're like, it's not called a cartoon, it's anime. I'm like, all right, sorry. I hadn't really watched any anime prior to my working on that show.
And then with Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, you went back several times to re-record things to make it better, I guess, because they remastered it several times.
About 1,000, at least.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from when they started out to now is just, with all these newer properties. Like, by the time they got around doing Fullmetal Alchemist, it was night and day. I mean...
Okay, so you've also done some, movie roles, even animated movie roles like Scanner Dark. Was it nice to do like a Philip K. Dick story when you were part of a Scanner Darkly?
Hell yeah,
it's very different from stuff you've done.
That was an awesome gig. That was super, super cool. I mean, you got working with Woody Harrelson and Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves. It was a dream come true. And then of course Richard Linklater, and then on top of that you're doing a Philip K. Dick novel, which was adapted by Charlie Kaufman, which is another cool thing. It had so many cool elements to it. And then by the time we saw it, nobody knew what the hell was going on. It's such a confusing movie.
So did you actually get to work like with Robert Downey Jr. and Keanu Reeves and company, with them in the booths?
Yeah, no. Well, it's a live-action movie, so he shot it. It's essentially somebody taking a digital camera, shooting you, doing your thing, and then taking it back to the lab, and then it's rotoscoping, and what that is tracing cell by cell, frame by frame, your image. And sometimes you can recycle the background, and sometimes you can't. If it's a moving shot, you can't recycle the background, which means that you have to take it by hand and trace over, because he's waking life too, which was also rotoscoped. So he shoots the whole thing on several digital cameras and then traces over it. It's just like tracing a picture.
Oh, so it's like, I think this was first done with the original animated Lord of the Rings movie from the 70s.
There you go. Same thing, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So what was it like working with Robert Downey Jr. before he became, before he had a second wind with Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes and, he became the superstar?
I've been a huge fan of his since Less Than Zero. I mean, I can't believe that dude didn't get an Academy Award for that. He
That was a good movie.
yeah, right. It's a Bret Easton Ellis novel.
I think so.
But he has just, I mean, just such a phenomenal talent. So I was a bit out of everybody, I think, more awestruck working with him, just because the guy just blows me away. For me, that'd be like working with Heath Ledger or Daniel Day-Lewis or something. You know, it's just the guy's such an amazing talent. He was a perfect gentleman.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to begin wrapping this up because we said it would be about half an hour. So, what are some of the current shows or roles you're working on? What are some of your future projects which are coming out?
You know, you already got me out of bed, man. I mean, it's not like, you know, I mean, what am I to do now? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do?
Okay, then we can continue talking.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Actually, I'm heading off to Australia tonight at midnight.
Whoa.
Oh, wow, that's a long flight.
Yeah, I'm going to this expo called Supernova. Have you guys ever heard of that?
I have not.
I have, actually.
Ah.
Yeah. So I'm going to Brisbane and Adelaide tonight at midnight. So I'll be there for a couple of weeks doing signing whatever people want me to sign and meeting people and hanging out. So that'll be fun.
So do you enjoy going to conventions and seeing what people do with your roles? Like, what are some of the coolest like costumes or memorabilia people have had you sign or you've seen of your stuff?
Signed a baby once. That was pretty cool. I was conflicted about it. I'm like, is this Sharpie is this kid gonna have like a learning disability later because of the Sharpie ink getting into his blood? I was really concerned about it. Like, I didn't know. I'm like, this can't be healthy for a baby. But we did it anyway.
So a mom just brought the baby up to you and said, "I love you."
The mom was like, "Don't be an idiot. It's fine." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
And then they got it tattooed on the baby. And then they went to a tattoo shop and then they tattooed the signature on the baby.
So which role were they coming up to you for?
They didn't really do that.
I figured as much. I really
which role did they want you to sign the baby for?
Sell. The mom was a real big fan, apparently. The baby was not a fan.
The baby definitely. I think the baby might have had conflicting emotions.
The baby, yeah, just like get that Sharpie away from me.
Like, Mom, what are you doing? Why are you giving that strange man a marker?
Yeah, but yeah, conventions are a blast, man. They're a bunch of fun.
Yeah, I've been to quite a few, and it's always fun to talk to. You know, it's always amazing to see which voice actors and which actors really like going there, because some of them go there because you can tell they just want money, if they're desperate, and some people go there because they actually like talking to fans, and it's really cool to see the difference, especially if they're sitting right next to each other, one guy with a scowl,
yeah.
one
If
guy with a smile.
you go to a signing and you see Lou Ferrigno, then you'll see exactly what you just described. Lou Ferrigno doesn't want to be there.
I met Lou Ferrigno a couple weeks ago.
Did you? Was he nice
at
to you?
Comic-Con. And he was happy. I saw him day one before the con started with but the press, because I had a media pass, and so I got to talk to him there. So I guess it was before he was burned out. But it's really fun to see who actually likes being there. Like the guy like David Yost and some of the Power Rangers really liked being there. And then some of them, who was the curmudgeon? I can't remember who the other one was. Maybe it was Peter Mayhew, but I think he was ill. He was.
Damn,
sick.
yeah, Mayhew. Mr. Mayhew has been doing this for a while. He's got, what is he, like 70 now?
Probably. He just got both his Salt Lake Comic-Con was his last convention before he got his knees both replaced.
Yeah, there you go. I know he's always had problems with his knees and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty.
Because nobody wants to see Chewbacca
with a.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Chewbacca in a wheelchair. That would not be cool. I
know Ray Park and Manu Bennett really like being there.
Yeah, but God bless him, man. He's been doing this for forever.
So you've done a lot of stage roles as well, at least quite a few. So do you like doing stage? Like some people like doing stages as a break from everything else. Do you see yourself more as a stage actor, a TV actor, or a voice actor, or just everything?
You know, my bread and butter is really film and TV as far as, you know, what's keeping me afloat. But the theater doesn't pay anything, so literally, you know, I've done a couple of things out here in Los Angeles and fairly large theaters. and it's like it's almost a luxury to be able to do it. You make enough money so you can take essentially 3 months off to do a play. It's one of the only times as an actor you can do something from A to Z linearly, where there's no stopping, starting. You're moving scenes around because you have to be at this exterior location this day, and you start. When you show up on a film, you could be your first day of shooting could be a scene from halfway into the film, or it could be your death scene or whatever. But in theater, you get to take something as it was written, as it was intended, soup to nuts, and it's scary, it's rewarding, it's thrilling, it's every night's different. It's an amazing experience. So I want to do more of it, and I will do more of it. It's just really, like I said, a matter of being
making
able to
sure that the electric bill is paid.
Yeah, they did a Conor McPherson play out here a few years ago, and I ended up getting 24 halfway through it, and we didn't have an understudy, but we ended up having to get one, and he ended up finishing off the play. So even when you do like jump into theater, you sometimes you can't finish it because you got to go pay the bills. So yeah, to be able to go do Broadway, even Broadway doesn't really pay that much, and to be able to go do that is like it's a luxury for actors that have already made a bunch of money in film and TV.
Okay, so we're gonna have to begin wrapping this up a little bit because I know James has to go to work and pay the bills.
Jobs.
Yeah, we both have jobs.
Wow, what's that like?
I work at a mental hospital.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a psych tech at a mental hospital, so I'm basically a nurse. I keep care of the patients. I don't do the treatments. I don't do the therapy. I take care of them.
Wow, that's got to be rewarding and challenging and interesting and all of that.
Half of training is how to not die. Because we have prisoners as well. People who aren't mentally capable of standing trial.
So you've got possible violent people on your hands that you're dealing with.
Yes.
Or it's just straight up violent people that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then people who think they're
wear, like,
butterflies.
A flak jacket or anything?
No, since it's a hospital, they don't let us, we can't bust out any of the stuff like that. We aren't supposed to look like nurses or anything like that. They just have us wear normal clothes and so on. But, I know how to take people down. I know how to, restrain them and stuff like that.
Wow. I love this. I love this job because you meet such interesting people with interesting vocations, and like I never would have guessed in a million years that you were a dude from like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
It's a fun job.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I want to say fun, but you meet interesting people, and I can't talk much about what I do because of HIPAA, but it's a fun job.
Interesting. Well, is there any other questions that I can field for you, gentlemen?
Well, my co-host, his net just died, so he wanted me to ask two things. First of all, if you could record 2 bumpers as 2 of your characters. He wants a bumper for Handsome Jack and a bumper for Cell.
Shocking.
Yes, very shocking.
I would not see that coming. I'm floored. Okay. All right, what do you want me to say?
Just, something along the lines of this is, Handsome Jack and I'm on Bombard Radio or something along that.
Okay. Bombad?
Yeah, Bombard Radio.
Okay. All right, want me to do Handsome Jack?
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
We're just recording this anyway, right? It's just like the whole thing's being recorded. Okay, here we go. Hey, stupids, this is Handsome Jack, and you're listening to Bombard Radio. Now, get out of here. All right, that was one. Hey, stupids, this is Handsome Jack. You're listening to Bombard Radio. Suck it. All right.
Win.
Hello, listeners. This is Sal, and you're listening to Bombard Radio. Stay tuned, or I'll rip your head off and use it like a soccer ball.
Awesome.
All right. Let me give you one more for Handsome Jack here. All right, let me give you one more for Handsome Jack. Hey, kiddos, this is Handsome Jack. You're listening to Bombad Radio. Oh, and Bud Stallion says hello.
Thank you. So I guess the last question we ask is the question we ask every single guest. We give the guest a soapbox to promote whatever they want. Could be a future project, could be an appearance, could be a book, could be they just want to talk to fans about something. So we're going to give you the soapbox to promote whatever you wish.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we got we're recurring on a couple of different shows right now. On Graceland, which is on USA Network, I play Ada Clarke as assistant director in charge of the FBI. So from serial killer to head of the FBI, that's an interesting leap. So I'll be appearing in season 2. I'm in the last 3 episodes of season 1. Season 2, we got picked up. We just found out a little while ago, so that'll be coming up in the next couple of 3 months, something like that. And just recently joined the cast of NCIS as a recurring character, Detective Dockery. That first episode airs November 21st, I believe, coming up. Then we've got that con that I was telling you about, or Expo, which is Supernova in Australia. So if you're listening and you happen to live in Australia, Brisbane and Adelaide, I will be getting there tomorrow. What is tomorrow? What is that? November what?
Tomorrow would be, it's a Wednesday here, but Thursday for them.
So what is that? What's today, the 5th? 4th?
The 5th, so it would be the 7th in Australia.
All right, so I'll be in Australia on the 7th.
No worry, you're not the first one to go from being serial killer to hero, because if you remember, Ray Fiennes went from being Voldemort and Hades to being head of MI6 and James Bond, so.
That's true, and then you've got Christian Bale as Batman, so, not that that's really an FBI character, but, yeah, so there you go.
And he went from, American Psycho to a different type of psycho.
Protector of the known universe, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for actually getting on earlier so my co-host could be here. And this is excellent.
It's all good. Yeah, it was great talking to you guys. Thanks for reaching out.